Hi, this is Will Steele with DIY Boat Life, and I am now exhausted. It is 12:33 a.m. and my place is a mess because of I have been doing a project, which I now am having a little bit of celebratory wine. The project is basically a short cycle water circulator, and it allows me to run the hot water back into the tank until the water heats up, so I'm not wasting water. So as you can see, I have taken one of those little taps that you can get. You can tap right in to the line. So there's actually was a little hose connector that connected the two hoses, which made out of plastic, and it was flush, so I was able to just tap right into that. I figured that was better than going into the actual hose. I had to do a little bit of adapting because the line was a little bit different. And that runs all the way from under my bed, where the water tank is, under the floor, all the way through here into this area right here. Let me get a flash on so you can see. I came out through that access panel. Not exactly sure how I'm going to close that up. I have the plate right there, and you can see I have a little Y adapter with some fancy stuff going on. So this is where my shower is, and so this taps into the water line that goes to my shower, because it's the shower water that we want to be hot. And what you can see is I've got this little beehive. It's a Wi-Fi smart device that allows me to turn it on for any amount of time. So what I can do with the smart app is I can now take anytime. Once I figured out how long I need to run the water to warm it up, I can just set it to that duration. It'll run for, let's say, 2 minutes to warm the water up. It'll dump it back in the tank, so I'm not wasting water in the middle of the winter. Sorry for my bottom of my bed is looking a little bit skanky. And then the water will be warm, and we won't have wasted water just running the water to get warm in the wintertime, because we need to fill up our water. But the place, a disaster. I must clean this all up. It's not looking too great. It was actually even messier in here before. There was water all over the floor because every time I did this, it just made a mess. And I've got even more of a mess in my living room I need to clean up. And even more of a mess. Oops. Out. On the back deck. As I was rifling through trying to find things. And one of the things that I hadn't realized is that I had the beehive that I could use. So I was looking for a ball valve, and I had these little cheap ball valves that were made of plastic. They sucked. They couldn't handle the water pressure from our water pump. I didn't think the pressure was that high, but apparently it's high enough. And they kept on leaking every time I'd connected them up. And finally, after I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back to the hardware store, and also it's too late to go back to the hardware store. Maybe I could go to Walmart at midnight. I think they're open all night now, and find what I need. Then I remembered I have this device I haven't been using that I usually use for turning on and off the water to the boat when we're not around. But I figured I'd just repurpose it for that. Works great. Now I can just run it for a few minutes, warm up the water, not waste any water. We'll fill up less often. But this was a pain in the ass. It literally took me from, I went out at 4:30 to go get parts. I also did some other shopping. Came back, got home about 6:30, so the past 6 hours I've been working on this project. And you know why? Because I suck at plumbing. I hate plumbing. I absolutely hate it. I don't mind fixing toilets and stuff like that. I find fairly easy, but I'm just they have all these different standards. There's NPT and NIP and whatever. I just wish 3/4 inch had the same threading as everything else, but it doesn't. So that's always 90% of my headache when trying to get the stuff to fit with the stuff that's on boats, which apparently a lot of stuff happens to be, I guess, I think 1/2 inch versus 3/4, which is the standard hose fitting for your garden, standard garden hose. So anyway, I had to do a bunch of jerry rigging stuff to actually get it to work, so I didn't have to make a billion trips to Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's done. And I am so happy to be done with this. I just got to clean up. Not looking forward to cleaning up, but it is what I must do next. I highly recommend, though, doing this, and hopefully you'll have more luck and know what size fittings you need and all that kind of stuff, because of There's different standards between, you can get 3/4 inch to 3/4 inch, but if it's not the same standard, then you're screwed. And I have the time, I can't just eyeball it and know what standard they're using on the boat. Some people might know that. So, yes, I hate plumbing. So anyway, a Christmas song, I guess. I will just ad lib. I hate plumbing in all its ways. I can't stand to do any plumbing on my boats. Why do they have several standards for connecting? What the fuck is it that they connect? They connect, I guess, fittings. Oh well, anyway, I lost my inspiration for a Christmas song of my despair. So I'm going to finish my wine, maybe have a snack, and clean up, and go to bed. Good night. This is Will Steele with DIY Boat Life, and if you have any questions, please ask.